Hi, everybody. How are we doing? I hope July treated you well and that you are feeling a sense of surrender and peace and trusting that everything is moving in divine alignment and timing. Um, I really noticed some big themes for not only myself, but the people around me, that it's really a potent time to trust yourself, be gentle with yourself, take time to heal, take time to get clear on your own truths, your own values, your own desires for the future, and just keep moving towards your goals as well. And yeah, so those are like some really big themes that I have seen come up over the last month. And I think this is going to continue to deepen as we move into the rest of the year. I think this year is really going to lead us into the deepest surrender we've ever experienced. And as well as a real shedding and clearing of energies that are no longer serving us to allow us to step into a deeper sense of authenticity so we can show up in our lives in a more profound, more present way, and in a way that truly aligns with our soul's desires. So we right now, just some things that I want to talk about that are already occurring, that are going to continue to affect us throughout the following months, is that Neptune retrograde, which started in July. It's still moving through Aries, and it will be approaching 0 degrees in Aries on September 14th. So basically until then, I think we're still moving through and trying to get clear on what our visions are, trying to really not even trying. Like, I think divine timing is unfolding the way that it's meant to. And over that time period, we're going to see our truth slowly becoming more clear and continuing to unravel. And I think the easiest way to handle all of this is just to trust and really surrender to the unfoldment and the process that is taking place. Without that surrender and that trust, it's going to be really hard to be in the present moment with your current reality. But yeah, as a collective, I think we're really being asked to let go of a lot of pain from the past as well. So we'll get into that. That's okay. So let's stay on topic here. So just anything else I want to say about this Neptune retrograde is just that in October we're gonna see that move into that 29th degree of Pisces, which is a very powerful degree. Yeah, and basically all I want to say is we'll get into that more and more as the months go on, but until the end of the year, we're going to be experiencing a continuously, this like deep shedding of, again, anything that is not serving us and anything that is holding us back from living in true alignment with our soul's deepest desires. Yeah, and then we're going to be led into 2026, which is a 1 year, which is like a really powerful new beginning. So, yeah, just sending so much love and light out to everyone who is a part of this community, and just to really everyone in the collective that you feel in alignment with this story and that you're just moving through a lot of old energies and releasing. I just encourage you to, yeah, keep trusting the process, keep surrendering, keep listening to your intuition and following your dreams. Yeah. it's really important to remember that we are all human and none of us really know what we're doing here. And surrendering to who you are and to your peace is the most powerful thing you can do. And it sets an example for other people as well. And all you can really do is make magic through the mess and trust that magic will pay off. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. So, yep, and we still have that, well, of course, we still have that Uranus and Gemini shift that just occurred. So, you may have noticed like unexpected opportunities, unexpected conversations coming up. Just, yeah, I think we're gonna be experiencing that. Well, it's not, I think we're gonna be experiencing that for years ahead. But it's such a new energy that it is really exciting, and it's also a very potent collective shift. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah. Let's keep going. So with that Juno direct, I feel like we are, that happened in July. So you could sense this feeling of getting more clear on your relationships. They're starting to, reveal themselves, but I think it's going to be a slow process in, with all this retrograde energy. You could just notice, I feel like with a lot of these themes of like letting go of old versions of ourselves, that also requires us to let go of relationships that don't serve us, but then also like creating space and clearing energy to welcome in things that are in alignment with us. So you could notice in your relationships that there might be some like shuffling around going on. And also those relationships could be revealing a lot about your inner state and where you're at on your path right now. So just a reminder there to always bring it back to yourself, and looking at how you can love yourself more and love the people around you better. And always bringing that back to yourself, I think, is important. How much love are you letting into your life or not letting into your life? And how much love do you have for yourself in the way that you treat yourself in relationships with others or allow other people to treat you in relationships? So those are some important themes to think about right now. Yeah. So that's what we got going on with Neptune. We got Juno going on, and then Saturn is in retrograde as well. It is still in Aries, and it's going to be moving back into Pisces, my sign. So that will be fun. I do love Saturn. I think Saturn is a really powerful planet that teaches us patience and discipline, and I would say trust. And yeah, so I think we could be seeing a lot of themes around with everything that's kind of going on. We're still in this Mercury retrograde energy, potentially while you're watching this. It goes from July, wait, when did it start? July 18th to, I think, August 11th it ends. And then we'll have that shadow period as well. So I think this Mercury retrograde, amongst the Neptune retrograde and the Saturn retrograde, and we also will be having Chiron move into retrograde on the 30th of July, which will affect us all throughout August, and into following months. So, all right, y'all, I just had to take a little breaky there for a second. But so we were talking about the Mercury retrograde and how it's overlapping the Saturn retrograde and the Neptune retrogrades. So I think it's a really potent time to surrender. I'm going to keep saying it, but just also like with that Mercury retrograde, it's in Leo. So it's a really good time to be creative, to explore, to tap into that inner child energy, to really like do things that bring you peace and bring you joy, and understanding like even if we're talking about like projects and stuff, it's not really a great time to launch any projects. It's a great time to explore and to maybe reinvent some things within your projects. Um, but if they're already started or already launched, it's like that's all good. It's great to continue to like put effort into that. But again, just like playing and like exploring and seeing what works and what doesn't, and being lighthearted about it and being open to the possibilities. Um, I just get this really deep sense of like it's this internal creative exploration, and we just had that new moon. So I'm recording this in July. I don't know if I already said that, but we just had the new moon in Leo last night, which was on the 24th of July. And that energy is, I think, giving us a boost to, again, tap into that play, tap into that creativity, especially during that Mercury retrograde. I like it. I like it. It feels good. It feels like, again, I just like keep repeating myself, but just a really great opportunity to deeper your sense of internal security and peace, and to really align with what it is that you want to put out into the world, whether it's in a project, in your relationships, in your friendships, like reconnecting with that inner child and being able to shine that light outward in whatever you're doing, whether that's a corporate setting or more passion projects, anything that we're doing. So that's the energy I'm picking up with that Mercury retrograde. We're still kind of in July right now, so I want to get into August. But I do want to talk about, I've already talked about this in the July reading, probably at the end. But I do want to mention we do have that Chiron retrograde starting on the 30th, which is also really potent, in my perspective, like a really potent opportunity to dive inward into any pain or wounds that are still around so that we can heal them and work through them, and get just like a deeper and clearer sense from within of who we are and what our hearts need in connection, whether that's romantic or platonic. And again, just continuing to deepen that self-assurance and self-security and connection to yourself, but also source, God, whatever you feel called to call it. Deepening that spiritual connection to self or source, I think, is also really important. And I just get this energy of like we're in this like potent moment in time where we are being surrounded. Whoa, I'm feeling all of us collectively are being surrounded by our guides, our angels, our ancestors, to really get clear on our own wholeness, our own truths. And it's like that Chiron retrograde with the Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde. It's like you have some of these planets moving from Aries into Pisces, and that Saturn and Neptune are both moving from Aries into Pisces. So we're going from learning lessons about like our internal, it's like all these deep lessons about our internal empowerment, but then also taking us into Pisces, where we are going to be like kind of swimming in the depths of our soul. And Saturn's going to be helping us to cultivate a deeper sense of structure within our sense of play and self-empowerment. So it's like healing our inner child at the same time as we're maturing and adulting and stepping into a deeper sense of self from within, from a very like sacred place within, so that we can then expand that outward into the world. When we have all these planets go direct in Aries. And Chiron actually never dips back into Pisces, which I like because it's like Chiron is shining the light in Aries and showing us where we're still wounded, where we're still not able to fully step into this higher version of ourselves, this adulted version of ourselves, where our child wounds, it's like Saturn and Neptune going back into that Pisces energy to really like retrieve parts of our souls that we have been disconnected from for a long time. Parts of our souls that allow us to step deeper into that play and shine our light outward and be the vessels and the people that we were meant to be. Not only for us, but for the collective, to help others heal, to keep shining that light so bright that other people feel inspired to do that for themselves as well. So I hope that made sense. I know that was a little bit of a journey, but yeah, I think Chiron is really shining that light. So then when Saturn and Pisces returns to Aries, Saturn and Neptune returns to Aries, it's like this coming home, like coming home to yourself. And then you'll see on the external, things begin to align. So, and that doesn't take place until January 2026. So I feel like really just surrendering to that inner healing the rest of the year. And giving yourself the space to get clear and taking things slow. Taking things slow. So some really potent energy. Let's talk about August. Let's get into it. So I feel like, yeah, July was this deep surrender into this internal envelope, if you will. And I think that surrender is going to continue to deepen throughout the months, but we got some exciting stuff happening. So let's talk about it. August 3rd, we have Uranus and Gemini, making a quintile to the North Node in Pisces. So this I see as like just a burst of energy from the universe. Is like, this is an opportunity, you can take it or leave it. It's your choice how you choose to tap into the energy, but also like we all are on our own individual paths. And if you're not like, I never want people to force things, just because we have like a new moon or a full moon, like, or some type of alignment. If it doesn't feel nourishing to do some type of like ritual or practice on that day, I don't advise people to do that. But it's good to know that the energy is there, and if you feel aligned with it, then use it. But August 3rd, I see this as like a creative spiritual opening happening with that alignment in the sky. So the North Node in Pisces is like a really powerful aspect too, because we have the North Node, our kind of our destiny, like what we're meant to do in this lifetime in the sign of Pisces, which is like the accumulation of all the zodiac signs. And to me, that's like endless opportunities, infinite potential. Very like make your dreams a reality kind of energy. So then to have Uranus and Gemini quintile the North Node, that is like, you could be seeing like unexpected opportunities or unexpected conversations that lead to opportunities, or just unexpected innovative energy towards your dreams and desires. So I think it's a really good opportunity to claim that energy and maybe do something. If you get invited to something, like take the opportunity if it feels in alignment with you. Just like being aware of your surroundings and what the universe brings you any day, but especially in moments like that. um So yeah, you could be having like a lot of like downloads coming in that day, or spiritual insights or awakenings or realizations, maybe as it relates to your path or your destiny, whether that's with relationships or your work or your passions. Um, so yeah, I'll leave that there and continue. On August 6th, we have Mars entering Libra. So Mars right now is in Virgo, which is a pretty dynamic place for Mars to be. Um, Very like detail oriented. Kind of that like fall energy of like that boost of like getting things done. Um, in like an organized fashion. Um, but beware of that perfectionism, because that could derail the higher vibes of Virgo if you're not careful. And nothing's ever going to be perfect. So don't hold yourself back to, um, because you want things to look perfect before they get started. Life doesn't work like that. Maybe it does for some people, but anywho, August 6th, Mars enters Libra. So Mars doesn't love to be in the sign of Libra, but I think like anything, like there's times in life where we have to go through uncomfortable things, but it was worth it. That's kind of how I see this, like Mars in Libra. Like it's necessary, and I think it's positive overall for us to experience. But I get the sense of like, so Libra is a very like always seeking balance and um yeah, basically just always trying to come back into harmony. So I feel like with having Mars in Libra, it's forcing Mars to slow down and move in a way that helps the collective to rebalance any like maybe power dynamics at play, or maybe just anything that is like out of balance in our relationships. um I think we will see adjustments to that during this time, coming deeper into alignment, not only again with ourselves, but with the people around us. And I think that comes from a deeper understanding. It starts with a deeper understanding of ourselves. And I think Mars in Libra is going to help us slow down to kind of get all of our like big emotions more understood from an internal perspective. So then we can heal and keep moving in a good direction, take responsibility where we need to, and keep moving forward. August 8th, we have the Lionsgate portal. So very potent energy. Especially during this like this year of deep internal transformation from the inside out. I think going through the Lionsgate portal during this time is going to be so amazing for our internal selves. Yeah, so what I wrote for that was soul initiation, 555, internal transformation, the light deepens within. So if there are, which I'm sure there is for all of us, anything blocking us might be brought into light during this time. And it could be uncomfortable, but ultimately it's like allowing us to shed anything that's keeping us from opening up to our deepest abundance and our highest timelines. Um, and the following day, on August 9th, we have the full moon in Aquarius. So to have a full moon in Aquarius following right after that Lionsgate portal in a 9-year, well, we have all these other retrogrades happening. We have Mars and in Libra. Like, it just rings so true of expect like in the light of this full moon, Aquarius is very innovative. It's also can be very detached, especially when it comes to our moods and emotions. So I feel like it's like what is not serving us is being illuminated. And then we are being asked to emotionally detach from anything that is not serving us. And that could be even from mindsets or belief systems, all on a, like it could be all an internal experience, or it could be an internal experience aligned with releasing anything on the outside that isn't in alignment with a new internal experience. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, a deep release internally from what is no longer serving us. Time for the true self to fully emerge, rising from the ashes. So, again, just this continuation of a deep internal transformation. It's really beautiful. And then we have a lot happening on August 11th, a very potent day. So, yeah. What I want to say about that is it's just all leading us deeper into ourselves. I mean, come on now. We know this, but so again, just to say, we have this Lion Gates portal. Lion Gates? Lion's Gate portal. That's opening up, okay? Then we have this full moon in Aquarius. It's like illumination, a release of what's not serving us, whether that's relationships, mindsets, belief systems, releasing that baggage so that we can cultivate more peace within and let go what's holding us back. And then we're being popped out of this Mercury retrograde. Mercury's going to direct on the 11th. And I think that's going to give us this burst of energy of like more clarity, just like calmer waters, being able to kind of like move forward. It just feels like a big clearing energy and like also a burst of energy from Leo with that Lionsgate energy of just like creativity, passion, excitement, movement forward, release of the old, opening up to the new, clearing away. Exciting! Okay, anyways, we got Ceres retrograde happening on August 11th as well. So I see that opening up a portal too. A moment in time to revisit how we're nurturing ourselves. So again, it's like, I feel like I keep repeating myself, but it's just like this like clearing, opening up to the childlike energy, and then movement forward. And then it's also like with all of that, nurturing ourselves more and just like healing on a really deeply profound level. I love it. But yeah, a time to revisit how we nurture ourselves and others. I think this will just like allow us to open our hearts more deeply to ourselves and therefore others. So, and it's like all these like subtle collective experiences that we're having together. It's just really interesting how you will see those like themes of all these collective things that we're all experiencing together, but then on top of it, we're having our own experiences with astrology, with the world, through, you know, like looking at our birth charts and seeing where one person might be more affected by the full moon in Aquarius than another, or by that Mars in Libra. So it's really just cool how we're all connected, but then we're all also having our own individual experiences that also connect to the people around us. Life is really interesting. Um, just ride the wave, keep riding the wave, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. So also on August 11th, we have Saturn in Aries, which is retrograde right now, sextiling Uranus and Gemini. Um, so that to me, like all this stuff is happening, Ceres retrograde, Mercury direct, and this Saturn sextile Uranus is all happening on August 11th, which the date 11 is just naturally a very powerful number. Like the number 11 is very powerful, and so is, I mean, every number has its power, but to be 8, 11, 9, I think is really powerful too, because it's like 8, 11 in combination. It's like this mirroring energy, like 8 to the 9 as well. I just feel like that's portal energy of like opening up to abundance, having that 11 power number, and then 9 like shedding what's not helping us to get there. Anyways, I think that Saturn sextile Uranus could feel like an opening up deeper to maturity, creating internal power and healing and unlocking new doors inside. So, accessing deeper foundational internal power. I think that's kind of the themes of everything I've been talking about. It's just the more that we cultivate this deep understanding of ourselves and the universe is in support of that, the more we can lean into that, the better off we'll be, the better off like life will just flow a bit easier for us. I mean, it's always going to be tough, right? Like we're having a human experience in the universe. It's pretty miraculous, honestly. Um but yeah, just trusting those waves, trusting um that when things get hard, it is usually an opportunity for us to deepen our relationships with ourselves. And when we come out the other side of difficult experiences, um, you start to understand your own resilience and your own depth and your own sacredness, if you will, and just how valuable your energy is. And when you start to gain that understanding, you start to really respect yourself on a deeper level, have loving boundaries, um, which then just like allows you to lead a more authentic life and come into alignment with what is truly meant for your soul. Um, so yeah, I feel like we're seeing this like Uranus and Gemini is again this energy of unexpected breakthroughs, unexpected innovation, unexpected opportunities. And it's sextiling Saturn in retrograde in Aries. So I feel like it's this Aries is a sign of empowerment, of self empowerment and assurance. That's how I see traits of Aries. And um to have Saturn in Aries in retrograde, I feel like, and to have it sextiling Uranus and Gemini, it's like this opportunity for internal breakthroughs, opportunity for this internal shift that allows us to just, yeah, again, be more authentic and be more self assured within within ourselves. Oh my God. I feel like I'm repeating myself so much, but like, I really just gotta get that message across, until it fully comes out. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. Um, August 22nd, we have the sun entering Virgo. So that's always a season of, you got people going back to school, college students, kids. I feel like it's just this fresh energy of stepping into, not necessarily the new season yet, but just this, um, energy of like, we're getting started. We're feeling motivated, and it always feels like a very like stable time period to like hone in on things and get yourself moving in a good direction and get organized. Um, so I always look forward to Virgo season. Okay, so now I want to talk about the new moon in Virgo. We're gonna have a semi-square between Jupiter and Cancer and Uranus and Gemini with that new moon in Virgo. So I feel like it's a great opportunity to take some time, set intentions for the new year, work on things, get organized, refine some of the details of things, and just get really clear on like the foundation of like what you want to bring in for the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Um, but with that semi-square with Jupiter and Cancer, so Jupiter and Cancer is like Jupiter is a very expansive planet, so to have it in Cancer, it's an opportunity to expand emotionally, um, to open up ourselves more. And then we have that semi-square to Uranus and Gemini. So Uranus and Gemini again is this innovative, unexpected opportunities, unexpected energies. So just be aware around this time that you could be working towards things, or again, setting intentions for goals and everything, or there could just be some friction coming up around our emotions. So we could have like unexpected inspiration, or we could have unexpected disruption, and just being mindful of how that's like affecting our emotional body. I think we could see some tension there, but I think that tension is to ultimately expand us into um, a deeper consciousness, a deeper understanding of where we're headed to. So I think be open to the unexpected and be open to be curious about resistance and any edginess you might feel with this alignment. And yeah, just try to have an open mind, because I feel like things could come up, but it's just important on how you react to things and what your perspective is. And that doesn't mean like don't feel your feelings, like feel whatever's coming up and be curious about it rather than making it harder, if that makes sense. And it could be unexpected expansion even. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's keep going. Is there anything else I really want to talk about? Okay, so August 25th, we have Venus entering Leo, which is exciting. I feel like that matches just the playful energy. I think, again, all in all, I feel like August is going to be this month of just really opening up deeper to ourselves, our own truths, and being playful, being curious, being creative, and just like working towards our goals. And just continually to get clearer and clearer about what it is we want, how we want to show up in the world, how we want to show up to the people we love and ourselves. And how can we create a nourishing, stable life that is in alignment with our souls? Those are the themes. So very exciting stuff. Just keep going. You got this. And yeah, with that Venus entering Leo, lean into that play. We're going to have a lot of Leo energy. I mean, the sun's in Leo, we have the Lionsgate portal. We just had that new moon in Leo, so Mercury's in Leo still for, I think, a little while. Yeah, and then that Venus in Leo. So just really, yeah, inner child energy, tapping into things maybe you did as a kid that you really enjoyed. For example, I really loved to jump on a trampoline when I was a kid. I loved to dance outside in the rain when I was a kid. So maybe I'll be doing that in August. Yeah. Okay. And then on August 28th, the last thing I will mention is we do have Uranus sextiling Neptune. So again, we have Uranus in Gemini sextiling Neptune, which should still, yeah, I think it will still be in Aries. Let me just look back really quick. Yeah, it'll still be in Aries at that moment. And it is in retrograde. So I think this could be a moment where we get unexpected truths, unexpected revelations. So that ultimately will empower us to keep moving forward. So again, Neptune retrograde often is like when Neptune doesn't have as much power, it's like unveiling any illusions that we have. And I feel again like the deeper we get into the retrograde, the more things become like more clear. So to have that burst of energy sextiling with Uranus is really powerful. I think this, yeah, could really bring in some clarity, some truth, some really potent energy to give us a burst to keep moving forward towards our dreams. I think it's going to be a positive experience. And if, you know, things get unveiled that maybe you didn't want to hear about, ultimately that is still a positive experience because we're not, you know, burying our head in the sand and hiding from truths that we don't want to hear. It's better to know the truth and to be able to heal from within and keep moving forward into a life that's in better alignment with us. But hopefully it is just some internal shifts and truths and positive energy to keep pushing us forward. So that's all I have on the astrology right now. I'm also happy to announce that I've been studying astrology for years, but I do want to deepen my practice and my understanding of astrology. And there is a lovely woman in our community who teaches astrology and just studies it with so much reverence to the study itself, but also to her ancestors and her lineage. So yeah, basically I'm really looking forward to working underneath her and connecting to astrology in a deeper way than I have ever in my life. I feel like it's going to be really profound and important. And I think it's just going to really have a profound impact on the way that I communicate astrology and the way that I connect to it on a personal level in relation to my own lineage and my own ancestors as well. So stay tuned because we're just going to keep growing here together and individually. Let's pull some cards for the collective on the month of August. I want to see what's going on. So we did the astrology. Now let's read the energy of the month. I'll do a first half of the month, second half of the month, and then kind of what we need to be aware of. So let's see what comes out. And I'll show you all the cards because the way I have my camera set up right now, you can't really see it. Okay. I want to get it laid out too fully before I dive into it. So just give me a moment. Yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I hope that this astrology overview resonated with you and gave you clarity and reassurance and maybe some peaceful energy around you to keep moving along on your path. I protect this space with Archangel Michael, and I ask for healing from Archangel Raphael. So I hope that you feel that in my communication and my presence, because it is with you and it's here. So, okay. Almost done. Got the first half and the second half out. Now we're going to look at what we need to know, what we need to be aware of. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So the overall energy, we have the Eight of Swords on the bottom, but that Empress card is hiding right underneath. So that is kind of the theme that I'm picking up on. I feel like a lot of us are maybe feeling like trapped by certain circumstances or not feeling clear on where all of this is leading us. But having that Empress energy underneath, I just feel like we need to keep trusting and so, and underneath that, we have that Five of Swords, so there's that, or Five of Wands, that internal conflict. But then we have the Queen of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune, and the Magician, and the Eight of Wands, and the Sun card. So it's like, we are moving in the right direction, and I think we really, really, really need to deeply trust and feel that from an internal place, and just keep doing our work and working on ourselves and getting clear on where we're headed, because that's really the only way. That's the only way. No, but just know that things are moving in a good direction, even if you can't fully see the big picture right now. So the first half of the month, we have that King of Swords, that Four of Cups, and that Five of Cups. So it's almost like we're cutting away what's not serving us and maybe seemingly detaching in the moment. Yeah, it feels like maybe coming off cold and detached from certain situations or experiences, but I really get this strong energy of like, okay, you see how we have these three cups on the bottom here that he's looking at, but then here it's like we're looking at the three spilled cups, and it's like we feel like we maybe missed out on an opportunity. So let's get some clarity on that. What's this Four of Cups about? The Eight of Pentacles. So you might be not taking an offer because you're still working on yourself, or you're working away at something else. What's this Five of Cups indicating? Nine of Cups. Okay, yeah, I'm getting this sense of... I want to pull one more on that. Five of Cups, the Nine of Cups. King of Wands. Okay. And the Star card on the bottom. So I feel like whatever you're experiencing in the first half of the year is serving, or in the first half of August, sorry, is serving a purpose. I think it's allowing you to see to work on yourself and to get clear on what it is you want. And with this might come like a flood of emotions and revelations about maybe some opportunities you feel you missed out on. But I think all of that's going to lead to fulfillment. 9 of Cups with that King of Wands, and stepping into like a deeper sense of self. And we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands out. So in the second half of August, we have that Hierophant card and that Queen of Wands and the Tower card. So let me pull a card on that Tower. Got some really powerful energy in this month. What's this Tower about? Too many. Let's keep shuffling. What's this Tower card about? Ace of Cups. Okay. So maybe we're figuring it out. Yeah, whatever storyline I'm tapping into, I'm sure a collective, I'm sure there's a lot of people. Reading feels really nice. Yeah, it really is in alignment with all the themes that I've been talking about with the astrology. And I kind of just want to pull it back out so we can look back and relate it to this reading, just with what's going on in the first half of August. Yeah, so again, it's like having, like I was talking about in the beginning of the month with that Lionsgate portal and the full moon in Aquarius, it's like, I think we're really cutting away from things that aren't serving us, and we might be holding back our energy to clean up the spilled cups of the past so that we can step into a deeper sense of internal fulfillment, which is ultimately helping us step into taking action and being, a stronger version of ourselves. Okay, so then in the second half of the year, or I keep saying that, in the second half of August, we have that Hierophant card. So this is a card of connections and relationships and structure. And I feel like in Virgo season, it feels like we could be getting more clear on the foundations of things and creating the structure for things to bloom and blossom. King and Queen of Wands, there could be some relationships coming together in this time frame. But with that Tower card, I clarified it with the Ace of Cups. So there could be unexpected communications around emotions. There could be unexpected offers. It feels really positive. And then we have the Ace of Wands on the bottom, the Two of Cups underneath that, the Death card, the Six of Wands, the High Priestess, the Lovers card. Like, come on. So I feel like there's a lot going on under the surface that we're not quite seeing yet. And that's all good. We're not meant to see everything going on. And I think that is a really important thing to keep in mind as we move through all this potent energy, is that the divine works in miraculous ways, and there could be so much happening in the 5D that Spirit is rearranging people, places, things, or maybe separating certain people so that they can focus on their own healing or their own passion projects. And all of these things are happening in divine alignment and timing. And being able to trust that the divine is moving things around in ways that our human minds could not even comprehend. I think that's going to bring us a lot of peace during all of these transitions. And then we have the Three of Pentacles, raising consciousness, and the King of Pentacles. So regardless if there is a relationship coming in, lots of fire sign energy here too, and earth. A lot of fire sign and earth energy in this reading, just pointing that out. But regardless if this is only, even if we're just talking about our internal experience, we are getting really clear on our values, what we want, and stepping into, I think, a new level of like wholeness, and empowerment to take advances towards what is truly in alignment with us. Now, whether we're just having that experience and going after opportunities and experiencing that inner union, or if that inner union is also reflecting new relationships forming and coming into our lives. So just something to be aware of. But I think what we need to know about this situation, this is what we asked, right? So we did the first half, the second half, and what we need to know. So yeah, it does feel like this changing of the guard. I don't even know if that's what I'm trying to say, but I just get this energy of like, we're going from like kind of not being clear and feeling maybe a lot of icky gicky stuff that we have to feel inside to stepping deeper into alignment, which is really exciting. But you can see with that King of Pentacles, like, this is what we need to know. So it's like we're creating this like really stable foundation so that we can move forward into the future from a place of awareness and like choosing what is meant for us and not just like unconsciously falling into relationships or jobs that aren't suited for us, like consciously choosing who we want to collaborate with and what we want to create. So working with other people, creating strong foundations, and ultimately raising consciousness. So that is just so potent and beautiful. I'm so excited to see how all of this unfolds for all of us in our own ways. And I'd like to just pull some of my crystal medicine oracle deck. I like to call this my like ancestor deck. It has a very strong ancestral feel to it. So let's see what comes through. Ooh, that was too many. Let's pull 3 of them. Reflection, related to the energy of winter. It's a 22 card. Initiation. 16 is the number on that. And let's see what else. Angel and spirit guides. And on the bottom, self-mastery. So very reflective of all the themes that I've been talking about. We are definitely going through a deep initiation cycle, I think, as a collective, as we move into this like age of Aquarius energy. I think the divine is really asking us all to step into our truths and really come into a sense of self-mastery and understanding of ourselves so that we can really bring in the lives that we want to create. Co-creating with the universe. Reflection. So within initiation, there is that time of reflection and understanding that your angels and your spirit guides are truly with us all during this very potent and special time. Um, yeah, I love pulling these cards and it always reflecting exactly what I spoke about in the reading. That's exactly what this whole year has felt like, is just this sacred initiation, reflection, and stepping deeper into self so that we can share our gifts with the world, and knowing that we are guided throughout all of that is such a beautiful thing. So beautiful. Let's pull a couple cards from my Starseed Oracle deck. I'm hearing as above, so below, as above, so below. Yeah, there are definitely strong angelic presences around me. I can feel them. So for whoever's watching, I think it's just really important to know how divinely guided and protected you are. Yeah, because when we can step more deeply into ourselves, I think I might have said this earlier in the video, you inspire others when you can stand in your light and hold both that dark and the light and make something beautiful, even if your life is messy, even if, you know, I'm someone who like drives around with like full-on coffee mugs. I saw like a TikTok once that was like, you're an unhinged person if you drive with like an open coffee cup in your car and bring that to work. And I do it all the time and it's super chaotic. I don't know why I'm saying that, but even if life's crazy and you're a little messy, like that's okay. We're humans and like that's authentic and you can still create something beautiful even if you're a little cuckoo. Like you think about Mel Robbins, that woman is all over the place. And she created something so fucking profound and empowering and beautiful for our collective experience. So just believe in yourself and step into that light and inspire others with you just being your authentic self, even if it's cringy to someone else. That's what being a human is. So rather be cringy than to never do anything in the public eye. Forge, don't follow. So that's kind of where, when this card pulled out, I started to say all that stuff about shining the light. Earth, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. So exactly what I was saying again. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Yeah, so all of these themes of forging your own path, shining the light for other people by just being your authentic self, learning how to be a human, right? So we're messy and sometimes we're going to want to control things, and that continuous surrender to the divine, where we can be a human and not get all messed up with the humanness of life, the overthinking and the rumination and the like this micromanaging the universe, trying to figure it all out when it's really not for us to carry or to figure out. I've been noticing that a lot in my life as well, is like when it comes to like generational trauma or healing or like people not getting along in family dynamics, like I always carried the weight of like, oh, I have to be the one to fix it. And then just a specific experience in my life I've watched as like I kind of let go of control on the situation and it's slowly naturally healing itself. So that was a huge moment of like, wow, like I don't have to carry the weight of the world, and like other people can like carry that weight too. It doesn't always have to be all on you. So yeah, I think someone needed to hear that today. And yeah, I'm gonna close out this astrology reading for August. And this tarot reading for August for the collective, for everybody watching, with so much love and light. And I hope you have a beautiful month. Feel free to comment on my videos. I would love to hear about your experiences. If my perspective aligns with you. And yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. That would really help me and the channel grow at a faster pace. So that would be super appreciated. And sending you all of the love and the light in the world. Um, yeah, I hope you're able to exist in love today. Have a good one. Bye.